Okay, I have to tell you about the 4 hours of just the debauchery of just trying to get to the airport from Roxanne's, from Blaine to YVR. It hasn't been this bad for me since 2006 when we were trying to go to Hawaii. Um, yeah, it was just everything was just like crazy, man. So so I accidentally leave early at 3 o'clock. The point of us staying at Roxy's was to so we can leave at 4. But I had 3 o'clock in my head, so I'm like, let's go. We gotta go. So we leave at 3. She lives 5 minutes from the border. We get there. It's only a couple cars. The guy asks us a ton of questions, and then Mom's like, "Do you have any?" He asks, "Do you have any tobacco?" And Mom says, "Well, yeah, I have 3 cartons." So we're thinking, maybe that's why we get pulled over for an inspection. So now we got to go in and we're waiting. So, once the guy, or once we get up there, the guy's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. So we're waiting. I'm looking at the lost people thing. Kind of sad. Luckily, it didn't take long, but we're thinking maybe that's why. But oh, yeah, so we're standing in line, and I'm like, there's nothing but minorities in here. There's no white people in here for inspection. We got us native group, there's some East Indians, and then there's some Chinese that got pulled in. No white people got pulled in, just minorities. Don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but it is what it is. So the inspection didn't really take that long, but again, it was annoying. So then we go in the car. They're craving coffee, so we go down the road to the gas station, coffee and snacks, and waiting for Mom. She's having a smoke, and she's like, "Come meet this guy." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "He works at the airport, and he has a better route to the or airport." So I'm like, "Okay." So he shows me on the map. He's like, take this, go around, you'll bypass all the traffic. I'm like, cool, thanks. Glad we ran into you. So we start driving. Google Maps Google Maps was trying to tell me to go up and over. I'm like, I'm just gonna take 99. I'm gonna forget Google Maps because this is where the dude told me to go. So we're coming on the exit and they're like, this is the exit. And I was like, yeah, but that's only if there's no traffic. Or if there's traffic. I'm like, there's no traffic, so I'm just gonna keep going. And other people are taking the exit. And then as soon as we get past the exit where like the traffic connects, I see a barrier. And that's when it hits me. I'm like, oh, it wasn't really regarding the traffic at that exit. It was regarding the traffic further. I'm like, I'm supposed to take that exit, so I'm on the other side of the barriers because that's where an HOV lane is. And then I can take the other exit around. So that one little dumbass moment where I'm like, there's no traffic, I don't have to take this exit, cost us about 20-30 minutes where we're stuck in traffic, because then the traffic funnels into like one lane under the tunnel. So it's like I could have saved myself all that time if I just listened to him and my brain wasn't like, there's no traffic, I don't have to take this exit. Dumbass. So that was getting there. So first, just the whole border and everything, that took an hour. So that made up for the hour earlier. And then there was an hour in traffic because of my dumbass move. A little over an hour. So now we get to the parking. Now, parking is an extra ordeal. So I would just wanted to park in long term. It's what I know. It's easy. It's simple. Roxy was determined for me to park in South Terminal parking because that's where she parks. It's a little bit cheaper. Really only going to be parked there for a couple hours because we flew out at 7:25. She landed a couple, like 20 minutes after us. So really, it wasn't going to be parked there very long. But she insisted I park at South Terminal just to save a few bucks. I've never parked there before, so I'm like, okay, whatever. And so find the parking, park there. We take our seatbelts off, and then I was like, oh shoot, now I gotta loop around, drop off our luggage, and then I gotta go park again. So I parked there, put all my sunshades up in my car, and then I gather all my stuff, snackies, water bottle, and then I start walking back to the terminal. And then I was like, oh crap, parking. Gotta get like my stub or something. So now I gotta walk back to the parking lot. So I see another bus go by. Bus comes every 20 minutes or something. Oh no, that's not when I seen the bus. So I go there and it's only credit card. It doesn't take debit or cash, and or pay by phone or pay by app. I don't have the app. I don't have my credit cards, or the one I do have doesn't have that much on it. So then I call Roxy, and she's like, "I'm on the plane." I'm like, "Oh crap!" So I'm like, "Do you have the pay by phone?" And I'm showing her, or pay by app, and so I hung up and I texted her, "Do you have the pay by app?" I was like, I thought it was the kind where you like grab a ticket and you pay afterwards when you leave. And I don't know, wasn't really getting a response from her. I call mom, and yeah, I see the bus go by. I'm like, oh crap, it's the bus. And so I call mom. I'm like, do you have a credit card? She doesn't have a credit card. She got rid of hers, and she has a debit credit, but it doesn't have the swipe or the chip. And then I was like, okay, well maybe I can still use it on the app. So I'm like, okay, so just as I'm like looking into the app and I was about to download it, I get a message from Roxy, it's done, it's paid for. I'm like, okay, good. So because I was gonna drive to get my mom's card, because I thought I could like insert it, but it wasn't that. I had taken my shades down in my car, so now I have to put my shades back up, because I'm thinking Mom and Riley got on the bus, because my mom was also like, okay, the bus is here. I'm like, I know, I seen it gone by. I'm trying to get Roxy to pay for the thing because I don't have a credit card, but she has the app. So I'm thinking they've loaded, Mom says the bus is here, so I'm thinking they've loaded the bus with the luggage. I'm like, okay, Roxy paid for it. And so I told Mom, I'm like, hey, she paid. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. So I try and run. My fibro doesn't allow me to run. It's terrible when I do. But now I gotta run. So I'm trying to run, stop, run, stop. Shit's trying to fall out of my arms. So I'm trying to run. And I see the bus pulling out of the terminal. And so I kind of wave it down, and he stops, and he's like, are you going to the main terminal? And I look in the bus, and I don't see the luggage, and I don't see them, and I'm like, where are they? So I look back, and they're still at the terminal. I was like, oh, what the hell? And he's like, I'm not supposed to stop here. And I'm like, well, and I look back, and then I see them trying to gather all the luggage, and I was like, my family's just gathering the luggage. He's like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I look back again, and I was like, well, my family's coming right now. And at the same time, he's like, well, I need to go. And then someone in his back like, we need to go right now. And I'm like, forget about it. So I just get off the bus, and I start limping back to the terminal because I ran. So my body's like breaking down. So I get there, and I just like sit on the pavement, and I'm like, I thought you guys were on the bus. I'm all freaking out of breath. And They're like, no, we were waiting for you. I'm like, well, you said the bus was here, so I thought that you meant that you were getting on the bus. I'm like, that's why I ran. So I'm sitting there, like, my hands were super shaky, had a headache, sore throat, I'm out of breath, had my water bottle, so I'm trying to, like, wet my head. I was pouring it on my head, trying to get cool, pouring it on my hands, wetting my face, my neck, tore off my sweater, and then eventually, like, laid on the ground, because now I know we have about 20 minutes for the next bus. And I was just, like, kept rubbing my head, because my body's just, like, breaking down now. So then finally the next bus comes. So we load the luggage, and it's completely empty. It's the three of us with our 8 pieces of luggage. And then just as he's getting ready to leave, this lady's like, how long before you leave? He's like, oh, about 30 seconds. And when's the next bus? 20 minutes. And she's like, oh, 30 seconds. And she keeps looking back. She's like, okay. And about 30 seconds later, a whole shitload of people come on. Like, it's full. Like, it's full. In 30 seconds, it went from 3 of us and an empty bus to standing room only. It's like, wow, what a difference 30 seconds made. So we finally get a shuttle to the airport. We get checked in, or we finally get to the Air North booth, and it's like an hour before our plane leaves, which means we got maybe half an hour to get to the gate. But it's like quarter like 7:25 ish, because plane 6:45 ish. Our plane's at 7:25. So we're checking in. Right, so now we're at the airport. We went through all of that, and now we're at the airport. So we get checked in. We're like, is it possible to get seated together? I check my bag in. Mom checks her bag in. Riley doesn't have any checked bags. So I'm like, okay, well, I still got to find the WestJet booth. So I'm like, I'm going to walk ahead. Once I get to the security, I look back, and then they start walking to security, and they catch up to me in security. So we put all our bags in. We get through security. Everything's fine. We're collecting our bags, and then all of a sudden, Riley's bag gets pushed aside. It's like, uh-oh, what the heck? Right. All I hear is Riley's like, oh, beep. It's like, what? It's like, oh, what'd you do? I'm like, what are you smuggling? So once I gather all my stuff together, I walk over. Mom gathers her stuff over. She walks over. So I don't know why me and Roxy assumed Riley travels a lot, but until now we realize he doesn't, because he had packed new full bottles of his shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash, everything. Full containers that he just spent $50 on. And he was mad about it. It was like, well, why would you pack full bottles? He's like, I didn't know. It's like, you're only allowed like small bottles. He's like, I didn't know. So the guy was saying, well, Air North is usually pretty cool about these type of things. So maybe he'll let you go back out and put these in one of their checked bags. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, wouldn't our checked bags already be gone? Like, we only have an hour to go. Like, luggage need to be loaded. And the guys, and Riley's like, okay, yeah. And and I was like, or he's like, or you can go back out and just check your luggage, check your bag. And he's like, I was like, well, I'm like, can we just not go buy some travel size things and like fill them up? And he kind of looks back at his supervisor, and then he's like, no, because the supervisor's like, no. So the guy turns back and he's like, no. And I was like, well, can we go out and come back with some travel size containers and fill them up? And again, he looks back at his supervisor. I'm sorry, no. I'm like, his supervisor's mean. But so again, he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. He's like, just throw them all out. So he does. So eventually he just tosses all his bottles out. And then now he's like really mad about it because he just spent $50 on all this stuff. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like, you know, we tried. We had the options, and Riley's just like, F it, throw it out. So we go, and now it's like, again, it's close to boarding time. So I was like, okay, well, I got to stop at WestJet and leave Roxy my key, because that was the plan. Is Roxy said, WestJet said it's okay to leave my key, my car key, there at the customer service, and she could pick it up. I'm like, so you guys go to the like, I walked down a bit. I'm like, I want to see how far our gate is. I couldn't really see it. I'm like, okay, well, you guys go to the gate. I got to deal with WestJet. So they walk down to the gate. I go back to WestJet, and they're like, no, we can't accept personal items. It's a liability to us. I'm like, oh. I was like, well, my sister said you guys said it was okay. And they're like, no, sorry, we can't do that. And it's like, okay. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then she's like, okay, well, why don't you go ask customer service over there, or the info booth or whatever. And so I go over there, and I asked to leave the key. And then same thing, the guy's like, sorry, we can't accept personal items. And then he was like, well, you know, what time's your flight? When does she come in? I'm only here for an hour. There's no guarantee that I'm still gonna be here when she lands. So, you know, it's not the best thing to leave it here. And really, we're not supposed to accept personal items. And then he's like, well, maybe if you take it to Lost and Found International, you know, that's probably your best bet. I'm like, okay, where is that? So on the map, it looks like we're here, and you just loop on over to them over here. I was like, okay, so how do I get there? And he's like, if you go through those doors, and then you just walk over there. And I'm like, those doors? He's like, yeah. He's like, but don't go through those doors, go through the side door. And I'm looking at like where you go through and get your baggage, and then it's like no re-entry. And I'm like, then I'm looking at the side door he's telling me to go through. I'm like, can I get back in if I go through there? He's like, no, you're gonna have to go out and back around through security, or out and back around. And I'm like, so I have to go out and through security again? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. Like, I have to be at my gate soon. Like, I don't have time to go through all of that again. He's like, well, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you know, you're gonna have to figure something out. And I was like, well, I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I was like, yeah. I'm like, I gotta go. I'll call her and figure something out. So I leave, and I hit the first bathroom that I see on my way there. And then I look under the sink. No. I see some cupboards. They both have garbage bins. I'm like, I don't know how often they change these. Don't know that I could trust it. Then I realize way down at the other end, there's some more sinks. Go down there, because it was like empty on that side. And I figure if someone walks in while I'm squatted down, I'll just like, play with my pant legs or something, you know, inconspicuous. So I go to the other side. It's too busy to look over there, you know. One woman was washing her hands. Another lady came in. Another one was leaving the stall. I'm like, can't look under the sink or anything over here. So as I was walking back, I was looking in the stalls, and I'm like, seems like it could be pretty obvious if I try and leave it somewhere in here. I peek in the handicap stall. I'm like, still looks like it could be pretty obvious. So then I take some tissue and I wrap up the fob. I don't know why, just to protect it. So then I look under the second sink, and then I see there's like a thick black kind of electrical tape. And I'm like, hey, that looks like a spot, so let me just stick it up there. And then I took a picture. I went outside, took some pictures of like the signage, vending machines, the gate across with like this weird running man statue. And now I gotta like walk fast toward my gate, and literally people's lined up. I'm literally like, well, I was the last in line. Seen a vending machine, grabbed a drink because my throat is dry from like rushing around. I was the last in line, and then a couple people were sitting down, and then they jumped behind me. Finally got on the plane. Found Riley. Mom was in the middle seat in front of us. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, so I texted Roxy the like 5 pictures I took. I'm like, good luck finding the keys. I was like, good luck. Hope you find them. Going on airplane mode. And then for the next 2.5 hours, there was no Wi-Fi service. There's no cell service. So I just had to like hope she found them and she wasn't stuck in the airplane or in the airport for like 2.5 hours until I got service again. So the first thing, I checked, I see all the message. She didn't even say she found them. She just says, wow. I'm like, so I called her. I was like, did you find them? She started laughing. Yes, I found them. I'm like, okay, good. And she's like, I gotta go. I'm like, okay, me too. I just want to make sure you found them. And then later, apparently, she made like a little Instagram post and her going on her mission, Project Key, to find them. So that was just getting to the airport. Crazy, just debauchery. Ugh. So then on the plane, Riley was pissed about all his having to throw out his $50 worth of bottles the entire time. He was just, I'm like, stop swearing. Like, there are kids around. He's like, I don't care, man. I'm pissed. I'm mad. It's like, I think anyone would complain. I'm like, that you had to throw out some shampoo? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there's been worse things that have happened. I'm like, poor baby lost his shampoo. But the entire plane ride, he's just, every now and then you just see his head twitch, his arm twitch. He's just mad the entire time. He was so mad, he turned down the drink because he's too mad to have a drink. He was going to turn down the food because he's too mad to eat. Shampoo, $50. And I was like, well, don't turn down the food. Like, at least, like, save the meat platter for grandma or something. So he did that. Like, after everyone was done, we like passed grandma the meat platter. So, but he didn't eat it. But he did eat the warm cookie. Nobody turns down the warm cookie. He ate it begrudgingly. He was mad the whole time he ate it, but it was a good cookie. But he's still mad. But every now and then you just see him like the entire plane ride, pissed off the whole time about his shampoos and body wash because he just bought those bottles. And I was like, I don't know why we thought that he traveled a lot, which apparently he never travels, so he didn't know the rules. And then he finally admits that he didn't have a clue what the security guy was saying. I was like, what? He said he said he didn't understand a word he said. I'm like, he spoke English. He's like, I know, but I didn't understand. It was an East Indian guy. So I was like, you know how racist that sound? He's like, I know it sounds racist. So I had to explain to him everything he said, all the options he gave. And I was like, you know how incredibly racist that would have seemed if I had to translate English to English for you? Like, right in front of him? Like, oh my God. Oh, he'd be flagged at the airport all the time after that. But, oh. So then we land. So then we land and we're waiting for our luggage. And then the rides weren't exactly set up. So we end up waiting a bit for our ride. You know, he's trying to get hold of the person he's staying with. Mom's trying to get a hold of the people we're staying with. And so now we're like waiting outside in the rain, but under shelter. And so his ride arrives, and so that of course I got to tell him right away about how mad Riley is about his damn shampoo, and then like his whole translate English to English bits and that whole hilarious thing. So then again, me and Mom are waiting for our ride, and so the first one offers like, hey, if they don't come, you know, I can drive you there. It's like, oh no, they're coming. So we waited about 15-20 minutes for the first ride. After he left, I think Mom and I waited another 15-20 minutes after that. So it was about like another hour. It was like another hour after we landed or something that we finally left that airport. But it was a long day yesterday. It was just like everything went wrong. Everything was just like, it was chaotic. Like I said, it was just like one long day of debauchery. And I'm glad that day ended. But at least like Riley made some kind of humorous something humorous out of it. But yeah, so apparently it was not a short story because I'm at like almost half an hour here. But I just had to tell you guys about our day. It was like an hour for the border, an hour for traffic, an hour for parking. And then we had to rush through the airport, and then like the key debacle. And then Riley pissed off on the plane. And then like an hour for waiting for a ride. It was just like, I don't want that to happen again. And next time I'm parking at long-term parking, Roxy, screw you and your South Terminal bullshit. I'm gonna park with what I know. God, I seriously hope flying back is gonna be less complicated. I hope it's just like airport, wait at the airport, fly, get to the car, and drive back. And we get through the border easily, like how my trips normally are. Not stressful or nothing. Well, that was our Friday. How was yours?